Welcome to Global Insiders Podcast. I am Ryan, the peripatetic one, bringing you information about opportunities relating to jobs, traveling, and any information that can elevate you to your rightful place in this thing called life. You can find more information and how-to methods on globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. And here is today's show.
Hello insiders, hope you're all doing as well as I am. It's hot here, but I am happy to be here and doing well. Today I have another cracking one for you. These are the topics for today. Top 50 cybersecurity jobs. 5 confidence tips for your next salary negotiation. How to 10x what you are doing. So just continue doing what you are and get ready to learn. The top 50 cybersecurity titles. Number 1, Application Security Administrator. They keep software and apps safe and secure. Artificial Intelligence Security Specialist. Use AI to combat cybercrime. Automotive Security Engineer. Protect cars from cyber intrusions. Blockchain Developer/Engineer. Code the future of secure transactions. Blue Team Member. Design defensive measures, harden operating systems. Bug Bounty Hunter. Freelance hackers find defects and exploits in code. Cybersecurity Scrum Master. Watch over and protect all data. Chief Information Security Officer. Head honcho of cybersecurity. Chief Security Officer. Head up all physical, info, and cybersecurity. Cloud Security Architect. Secure apps and data in the cloud. Counter-espionage analyst. Stop cyber spies from hostile nation states. Crypt analyst. Decipher coded messages without a cryptographic key. Cryptographer. Develop systems to encrypt sensitive information. Cyber insurance policy and specialist. Consult on cyber risks and liability protection. Cyber operations specialist. Conduct offensive cyberspace operations. Cybercrime investigator. Solve crimes conducted in cyberspace. Cybersecurity hardware engineer. Develop security for computer hardware. Cybersecurity lawyer. Attorney focused on info, cybersecurity, and cybercrime. Cybersecurity software developer. Bake security into application. Data privacy officer. Secure legal compliance related to data protection. Data recovery specialist. Recover hacked data from digital devices. Data security analyst. Protect information on computers and networks. Digital forensics analyst. Examine data containing evidence of cyber crimes. Disaster recovery specialist. Plan for and respond to data and systems catastrophe. Ethical/white hat hacker. Perform lawful security testing and evaluation. Governance, compliance, and risk manager. Oversee risk management. Industrial Internet of Things or IIoT security specialist. Protect industrial control system. Incident responder. First response to cyber intrusions and data breaches. Information assurance analyst. Identify risks to information systems. Information security analyst. Plan and carry out info security measures. Information security manager. Oversee an IT security team. Intrusion detection analyst. Use security tools to find targeted attacks. IoT or Internet of Things security specialist. Protect network and connected devices. IT security architect. Implement network and computer security. Malware analyst. Detect and remediate malicious software. Mobile security engineer. Implement security for mobile phones and devices. Network security administrator. Secure networks from internal and external threats. Penetration tester. Pen tester. Perform authorized and stimulated cyber attacks. PKI, public key infrastructure analyst. Manage secure transfer of digital information. Red team member. Participate in real-world cyber simulations. SCADA, spelled SCADA, all caps, supervisory, control and data acquisition, security analyst. Secure critical infrastructures. Security auditor, conduct audits on an organization's information systems. Security awareness training specialist, train employees on cyber threats. Security operations center, SOC analyst, coordinate and report on cyber incidents. Security operations center manager, oversee all SOC personnel. Source code auditor, analyze software code to find bugs, defects, and breaches. Threat hunter, search networks to detect and isolate advanced threats. Virus technician, detect and remediate computer viruses and malware. Vulnerability assessor, find exploits in systems and applications. So, those were 50 of the popular titles for cybersecurity specialists. So, as you can see, it's a wide field and it requires different skill sets. So, that is why I will keep on speaking about this area, because it is one that will only grow more. The need for it will continue to grow as the years go by. So this is one of those fields that I think you can consider investing in, so that you can help yourself and help others, and in doing that make some money. Okay, moving on. Next, 5 confidence boosting tips for your next salary negotiation. And this is by James Q. Quick for .cult in Germany. So if you do get the confidence to get into the cybersecurity field, you'll have some you'll have some tips on how to go about getting the amount of money that you're really worth for the job that you want to do. All right. First of all, do your research. All right. Do your research, because you don't want to get too small amount of money. You want to get the right amount of money for whatever job that you're applying for. So first, do your research and be prepared for the interview. This is something that recruiters complain about, or not complain, but they say a lot of persons who are applying for jobs, they have no idea about what they're applying for, or they have little idea about what they're applying for. So definitely, do your research before you go in there. Being prepared is the best thing you can do. So know what the job requires. Know what you are worth based on what you will take to the job. So if you have a certain skill set, make sure that you know what they are and you know how to tell the persons who are trying to hire you what those skill sets are. Make it fact-based. So you don't want to be speaking from an emotional point of view. You don't want to be, yes, I'm good, I'm the best at this. If it's a specific area, state how you have done things in the past and how you have proven that you can be of help in this area. Okay? So make it fact-based. So you can use places like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and Salary.com to see what the job usually requires and to see if it will be the same thing that you are supposed to do for your position that you are a prospect for. Also, it's a good place to see how much those websites are a good place to see how much people usually pay for those positions, because you don't want to go into a negotiation not knowing what the going price is. And yes, it might be inflated or it might be deflated based on where your location. As I keep saying, this show is really, the most of the information on this show is based on North America to be specific situation. But of course, you can always transpose to wherever you are and to at least have an idea of it. So also make notes, okay? Make notes of these things so you can have them on hand. So don't go into an interview with just your hands. Make sure you have pen or preferably pen and paper, because people might think being on your phone might be a bit disrespectful. Some people, they haven't adjusted yet, so be aware of that. So you try to have a pen and paper there. Next, be an advocate for yourself. Employers usually have to have the negotiating power. So you have to be the lawyer for yourself. I mean, it's like going for a visa. I mean, a visa is a very technical thing. You have to have your documents together and you have to put your case to the consular officer who is interviewing you. So it's the same thing with a job. Just make sure that you have your papers together and you have your guts and you have the belief in yourself there so that you can advocate for yourself. So let them know you are the right candidate and show them that you are the right candidate. Once again, using the facts from what you have researched. You might second guess if you meet all the prerequisites, but according to James Quick, you rarely have candidates who meet all the prerequisites. So confidence is what really does it. I mean, there's a very popular meme that says something. So you're someone less qualified than you doing the job that you want to do, just because they believe in themselves. And I strongly believe that. I'll even give you a story. My mom has a friend who, when maybe it was her first job, she applied to be a dentist assistant, and she got the job, no qualifications or anything, but just that belief in herself. She now has a PhD in psychology. So that's amazing. You just have to, and there are a lot of jobs like those, especially the jobs that we consider to be dream jobs. When you see someone doing a job that you're like, how did they get that job? Like you have some people who they're traveling the world, or they're in charge of very important shows and so forth. Or, you're wondering, how did they get that job? But it's usually confidence. At a certain level, it's all about confidence and being able to deliver on what you say, you are going to deliver on. Making mistakes, especially in the first 3 months, depending on who the person is, they'll probably, if you make one mistake, you're out. But some people, they know because they were in the trenches before. They will allow you a mistake or two, and then once you get your feet wet, they'll allow you to go through. I mean, this one was a bit surprising to me too, like, because it's applying for a job or going into an interview. It's like a closed door, closed curtain type of thing. And sometimes we're only looking at the fear factor. So try to remove the fear factor. So I would add that to what, James Quick is saying. Remove the fear factor. And I think a good way to do that is to do your research, first. Okay. So in case like this, put forward the skills, they are looking for, and, but make sure that these are the skills that, you can definitely deliver on. You don't want to be a talker. Okay. And this segues into talk to people you can trust. They can help you and give you tips. All right. So that's important also. And, not just talk to them, but also double check your information. I'll give you a quick story. Many years ago, I did a mock interview for high school students, and there was a student that came in with, this was a A student. You know, all the grades the student had, were like A's, or most of the grades. And I'm talking about the sciences and all those type of subjects. But she sounded well, and she was doing very well in the interview. However, I had to stop the interview and say to her, listen, who wrote this resume? And she said, oh, I gave it to someone who I trust to peruse it. And I was like, well, they didn't do a good job, because there were so many mistakes on the resume. I just couldn't believe it. The person that I was seeing was presenting herself well, and she was doing a very good job of matching the grades on the resume with the person who she is. I mean, those were all adding up, but the resume itself was not adding up. There were just too many mistakes on it. So I stopped her and I told her, listen, next time when you're doing something like this, make sure you double check the work yourself, because this does not add up, you know. And she was shocked, and I know that advice helped her, and I'm sure she's doing well somewhere now, because she was really an A student. She wasn't, it wasn't a fake where she was, or bloating the grades to look smarter than she really was. So yes, definitely double check. Even though you're getting help from friends and family, make sure to double check your work all the time. Yeah. Learn about the negotiables other than the salary, benefits, vacation, sick time, whatever it may be, bonuses. You know, in these COVID times, we're just happy to get a job, but at the same time, ask around. You never know. You never know if they may have access to programs that will allow the kids to go to daycare or something. You never know what a company has. You have to ask, because you'll be surprised to know some of the things that some companies have, because they're not in the business of upselling either. And sometimes you just have to ask the right questions to get the good answers. So definitely look into that, because sometimes a big salary might be nice, but then again, sometimes a certain benefit might work out even better for you. Prepare for different types of offers. So decide on a good number for you and why you deserve it. So if you know that $100,000 will be great for you, make that number in your head. Okay. So now if someone says to you, hey, okay, I'm going to give you 80,000, you can work it out. Okay. Well, at least I said I wanted 100,000, but now they're going to give me 80,000. So, let's see. Okay. So create that scenario of getting a low number or getting a high number. So this is where you will also share your research results. So if they tell you about a low number, you can at least say, well, in this industry, I see where persons are getting this, usually. So based on the skills that I am bringing to you, I expect to get this and no less. And I can even give you a scenario where I have a friend who went to get a nice job. It was a job with an embassy, and the figure was a bit low. But then she explained to them, listen, if you want me to do this job, it would be much better if you moved it up by several more $1,000. And you know what she did? She got that raise, and that is what it is all about. When you're negotiating for a raise, I mean, or not just a raise, but negotiating for a job. It's not just a one-way street, and many of us, we have that fear, and we think, okay, we can't talk about the money. And you will hear people say, don't talk about the money. But I'll tell you this, no one is applying for a job to go to work for free, right? So of course, talk about the money. I think that's something that is going to change in this decade too. Like, I don't think it's going to be the norm for people to go into interviews not talk about money. Imagine that. Imagine you go to a store and you're saying, okay, you're looking around the store, you know you want to buy something. But then when you go to the cashier, you don't talk about money. It's a bit similar. I mean, the money is very important. You're not going to work for free. So wherever in your gut you can find that strength, go in your gut and find that strength to ask for the money, because the money is important. And it's time we stop talking about don't ask about the money. You have to ask about the money. I mean, it probably shouldn't be the first words out of your mouth. But even if it is, it's your business. I mean, this is your life and you need the money. So, yes. Okay. Of course, if they make a high offer, try not to show too much excitement and take a little time to say, yes, anywhere from a minute to a day is good enough. But of course, do your research. That is where it starts and that is where it should end. Once you do your research, you should be a bit more relaxed and a bit more confident about about the job that you are applying for and what skills you can take to that job. So, yes, I'll leave it at that. Make sure to do the research, alright? Nice. Next. 10xing. 10xing. What is 10xing? Well, 10xing is a Dan Sullivan theory where he believes that it is easier for you to increase your productivity by 10 times rather than by 2 times. And he explains this from the Moore's Law perspective, where Moore's Law is the speed and power of a microchip doubles every 18 months. If you don't believe this, well, think about it like this. 40 years ago, there were no computers, internet, or smartphone. And now we have all those things. In fact, the smartphone that you have now is probably more powerful than the computer that sent the astronauts to space in the 60s. So that is what Moore's Law is all about. We have so much computing power now, and this is going to... So if you want to compare, think about what we have now, and then in the next 18 months, look what will be. So now it's what, 2020? So in 2022, just compare the technology then compared to now. And you'll be like mind blown, I'm sure. Well, not just you, but we will be mind blown. So that is what 10xing is all about. So he's saying that 10xing starts with first, stop thinking linear. Stop thinking that things have to progress slowly and in a particular order. Growth should multiply itself. So growth, it's like a how can I say? It's like a hop. You know, it's like, I guess you could compare it to popcorn. Popping popcorn. One starts off, then 2, then 3, then 4. And by the time you look at it, you have, 10, 20, 30, 40 popcorn in the pot popping up. So it's the same with growth. Once it starts to move, it doesn't stop. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger until it plateaus or it just continues. So 10xing is something I want to do because I've been having relative success with most of my projects, but I haven't been 10xing. So I'm working on 10xing now. So instead of thinking incrementally, we should think big picture. Okay. And he said something very impactful. This is Dan Sullivan. He said that when you think about a 2 times goal, so that means like if you're thinking of increasing a business, you usually think about the past, like where the business was in the past and how to increase that past without changing anything. But if you think about 10 times in your business, you have to think about, wow, what that looks like in the future. So you don't think about the past first to get to the future or to the present. You think about the future and how to get to the future from the present. So it's a very interesting theory. I believe in it somewhat. And I definitely want to 10x. I want to learn how to 10x. So this is something that I'm working on for myself. So 10x future. With 10x, you start with the future, freeing your present as much as necessary from the past. So let's think about the future, Glow Insiders, okay? And let's try to 10x. Today on Monster.com, there are 14,518 cybersecurity jobs available. Okay, insiders, until next time, keep on being productive and keep on retraining. Thank you.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you are inspired. You can find more helpful and motivational material at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is, insiders with an S. You can also keep in touch at Global Insiders on Instagram. See you next time, but remember, you can be your own superhero. Bye.